Hello, fellow hunters. This is Risic, and today I want to talk about something I've been wanting to make a video about for a very long time, but I've held off on it for so long just because it is kind of a sensitive topic and kind of a divisive topic within the community, and that's support sets. And if you're not familiar with what I mean by support set within the context of Monster Hunter, what often comes to mind is somebody running wide range, speed eating, free meal, Mushromancer, and you see them run around, and anytime somebody gets slightly bumped, they're chugging a potion. And you might think to yourself, well, Risic, why does that sound like a bad thing? They're trying to help their team out. And that's where I think a lot of people are wrong. Support roles in other games are very valuable because they have systems built around their necessity. Take, for example, MMOs, say like World of Warcraft, or hero shooters like Marvel Rivals or Overwatch, have a role triangle, so to speak, where you have your DPS, or damage per second. That's the classes designed to dish out the damage and kill. Then you have your tanks, or vanguards, whatever they're called in their game. They're the ones that control space and soak up damage, and they control the front lines and the flow of the battle. Then you have your supports that give heals and debuffs or buffs to enemies or allies, supporting the team. And that works in those cases because the way teamwork functions within those games is being able to lean on one another on the other two roles that you're not playing to cover for your own weaknesses. Monster Hunter doesn't have that triangle. Everybody has the same capacity to heal themselves. Everybody has the same capacity to deal damage, has the same lack of capacity to reliably hold a monster's attention or aggro. The monster is going to attack whoever it wills. So trying to play like a tank, for example, doesn't work because you can't control it outside of the behemoth fight. And that's why something like healing is unnecessary. And the people you often see doing this are going to be newer players that may not understand mechanics as well as more veteran players, and they're just trying to help. You know, it's not malicious or anything. And then you also have players that might be more experienced, but are trying to make up for their shortcomings by avoiding combat directly and saying they're contributing by drinking potion. And in World, at least, this is reflected in the end cards. You'll see so-and-so applied this many buffs, and then that's what they use as justification for playing this. And that sounds good on paper. However, what happens in practice is they're avoiding combat, and they're still being targeted by the monster because, like I said earlier, there's no role triangle, there's no tank drawing aggro. So what happens is they're running out of range of monsters to stay safe, and they're drawing the monster away from the people that are actually actively trying to slay the monster. The game's called Monster Hunter, not Monster Healer. And so they aren't contributing their share of damage within a hunt or actually doing anything team-worthy, except on the one or two occasions they got lucky and actually managed to be healing when somebody might have needed it. But you can't out-heal one shot either. So you have somebody that's not doing their fair share of damage, you have somebody that's not doing their fair share of status application, part breaks, tail cuts, and they're just running around wasting items, and then at the end of the game, they hail themselves as a hero. So to summarize, usually the folks playing these quote-unquote support sets are actually making your job tougher. Their heals are not that impactful. You can do 99% of what a healer build can do with a Dust of Life. It comes out quicker than a potion, and it applies those heals instantly instead of over time from drinking a potion. And also, all you have to do is put a max potion on your radial menu and eat that when you get hit, and you're back in the fight before they even open the top of their potion to start drinking it. It's just a wasted space that's not necessary, and it's not impactful. And the only thing supporting any kind of impact is that card at the end that says they got 200 buffs because they just sat there and drank potions the whole time. So in a game where everybody has the same capacity for damage, same capacity for avoiding damage, and same capacity for healing themselves, how does one work as a team player? How does one support in a game like Monster Hunter? There's a lot of excellent ways you can play as a support character without leaning on the terrible wide range support healer mindset build and everything. For example, I play Hunting Horn. I apply buffs to my teammates just by normally hunting. And people appreciate that. And all I have to do is play my Hunting Horn. And I can prepare different ones depending on what hunt I'm going into. If I need something like wind resistance, if I'm going against Kushala, that just makes everyone's life easier. Or if I take in status negation going against Valhazak and it's a Fluvium. Just little choices like that is a huge help to my team. And playing Hunting Horn's not the only... I hate calling it a support weapon because I think every weapon has the capacity to be a team player. With the lighter weapons, for example, being able to apply status really well. Bring a status weapon. For the ranged weapons, they'll usually have status application. That's really great. You can bring Dusts of Life. That'll do 99%, like I said earlier, of what a healing build can do, but just better in most cases. And wide range isn't an inherently bad skill. It's actually really great. It's just when you make your entire playstyle around it that it becomes detrimental to your team. Because you can share buffs from like your Might Seeds or Demon Drugs, Armor Skin. If you're running Mushromancer and you have all those defensive and stamina bonuses, you can use those as well. And you don't have to sit back and heal every little boo-boo and ouchie. And you can still be a huge contributor in other ways. Another bonus to playing Hunting Horn is it's an impact weapon. It does blunt damage, so I can knock monsters out. And that's the same thing with hammers. That's a big thing about hammers, is you can knock out the monster and create huge openings for your teammates. I'm not going to go in depth on all 14 weapons, but I think you see where I'm coming from when it comes to how each weapon can contribute in a supporting way. And being a team player is not just limited to the weapon you play or what role you designate yourself. Little stuff like helping your teammates out of a stun by hitting them, or putting down traps. Little things like that help tremendously. So the best advice I can give to somebody that wants to be in a more supporting role is understand how Monster Hunter works. Think of it not as trying to cover each other's weaknesses, but rather you bring your own unique strength to the table that everybody can benefit from. So instead of being a DPS, instead of being a tank, instead of being a healer, you're just a good hunter that's bringing something unique to the table instead of covering for the fact that other people can't heal, because other people can heal themselves. Bring that bow that's got the different status, or bring some extra traps to help keep the monster in place. Bring that Hunting Horn that's going to completely negate a monster's annoying mechanic and make the hunt a lot easier. There are lots of ways to support in Monster Hunter, but running away and chugging potions ain't it.